How's it going, you guys? Today I've got the top 3 most fun decks to use in Clash Royale during the 2v2. Upcoming is the 2v2 chest, so a lot of you guys will be looking for some great decks to use, so I thought I'd go ahead and share my favorite 3 with you guys. So these aren't the best 3 decks that'll get you the most wins, but they are the most fun in my opinion to use. So I'm playing with one of my clanmates and also a fellow YouTuber. So I'll go ahead and link his channel in the description below. He's still quite small, so any support to him would help him out a ton. But anyways, this first deck, what it is it's basically a balloon, mirror, freeze, clone, all that cycle deck. And pretty much the goal of it is to 3-crown as fast as you can using balloons, freezes, and clones. So basically, all you have to do is just not play defense and just save up for big balloon pushes. You can start by playing them in the back and then freezing towers, cloning them, and all that fun stuff. Usually, it actually works really well if they don't have the right stuff to use and if they don't have a ton of buildings. But even if they do, it's still very doable and it's so much fun to use. And moving on to the second one, this is a siege deck. So it requires both players to have the mortar and the expo, and you're just pretty much constantly bombarding your opponents with basically either the expo or the mortar at the bridge. So you can also play the mortar or the expo in the middle to defend the other siege. So pretty much in total you actually have 4 buildings, and since it's also a fairly quick deck, you can actually cycle them really quickly, and guarantee it gets really annoying for your opponents. It's also a pretty easy deck to play too, just because since you're playing the buildings, all you have to do is really defend it, and it's easy even if you're not talking with the person next to you or over FaceTime or Skype or whatever it is. You can actually just by holding them over, you can see what your teammate's going to do, and you can just play off that. So as you can see in this replay, already got that 1 tower down. Mortar was a bit of a waste, but hey, overkill, what the hell? And it's also extremely powerful on defense, considering you have 4 separate defensive cards, or defensive structures actually, so getting anything past is really difficult. And also I believe in one of the decks, in the deck I was playing actually, it has the Inferno Dragon. If you don't have that, easy substitution, just use the Inferno Tower. And yeah. So it's not, unlike the other one, it's not as quick of a game because it's not really going for the 3-crown since you have all the siege buildings. So we are just going to go for the 2-crown. And pretty much our opponent cannot do anything about it. With the mortar on defense and all the spells and other buildings we have, it's impossible for him to even get to the tower. If they didn't have goblin barrels and all that, they never would have even gotten a touch on our tower. So basically, we're just every time you throw down a siege building, mortar or expo, you can just drop a knight or any support cards behind it to play. Typically, we use the knight first just because it's a tank and nothing really takes it out very well. But there it is, another 3-crown using a really fun deck to use. That one is actually probably the best deck at also getting you wins. It's really fun to use and it's also really effective. So I'd really recommend that one. That one's probably it's probably tied for my favorite with the balloon one. But then lastly, one of the originals, it's the all spell deck. So this one's actually more of a challenge. If you're a decently good player, it can be a lot more fun to use because it's a lot more challenging. And the rule is to basically have all spells, like no exception. No other buildings, no defensive like troops or anything. Just strictly spells. That makes them more challenging. And rather than just rocketing out their tower and then like defending with goblin gang and all the defensive cards and all that, this makes it more challenging. You could do both, however. You could just do rocket cycle with like defensive buildings. That could be good as well. But in our case, we are going to go all spells just to challenge ourselves a bit. And since it is 2v2, the rocket and most other spells can actually hit both towers as well if you shoot it right in between. So defending with spells is quite challenging because you have to try and get positive elixir trades as well as throwing your rockets on their tower. And the good news about that is you can actually take down 2 towers. You can take down their first princess tower as well, so that you can take the game into overtime and you get more time to delay the game so that you can rocket out their tower. So it's pretty challenging right now, just defending pretty much his ram with logs. Planting his hogs and battle ram is quite difficult. So it was a nice little challenge for us, but I'm not going to spoil it how it ends. But at this point, we are losing quite badly. It's not looking too great for us. The poison's working well because it's pretty much hitting 3 different buildings at once. And our tower is down to 831 HP. But we both know that the beauty of this deck is if you just completely forget about defense, you can cycle 2 rockets along with a mirror, which is super effective. So I believe that's what we're going to do here. My partner throws down his rocket, I throw down mine, and now we're both pretty much just saving up for our mirror. We have 2 mirrored rockets, which do a ton of damage. Having their troops incoming, pretty deadly, so we didn't want to waste that. Their tower is down to 666 health, and we're just going to go ahead and just go for it. So we're Fireball, Double Fireball, and Lightning, and that finishes off the tower for a really challenging yet fun deck. Anyways, there it is, guys, my top 3 decks. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll keep it short, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.